Welcome, Dayglow Street Gangs, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Reviews from the Geek Salad Podcast. I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And tonight we kick off the month of August with a special guest, Mr. Kurt Smith at Swayze of Arabia on Twitter.
Hiya.
He who does a lot of letterboxing and stuff like that. And for once, we are turning the tables on Kurt by having him help us review a shitty sequel.
Actually, this is the second time you've turned the tables on me because you made me watch the Star Wars Holiday Special with
That's
Thomas.
Right. Oh, damn! I forgot about that. Mike wasn't in that on that one.
No,
Yeah.
I've still never seen that, and I prefer to keep it that way.
So, tonight we are talking about if the thumbnail didn't kick it off, we are talking about Batman and Robin. And all right, so this movie did things to me. The things which means I'm going to begin drinking, and this is peach. I fucking hate peach. Monsters Inc. was the best movie. It is one of my favorite Pixar.
I love that movie. I haven't seen it
now,
in eternity.
Very good movie.
Let me ask both you gents. What was your first experience with Batman and Robin?
If I remember correctly, I think I might have seen it in theaters.
Kurt?
I remember seeing on television. This was 97, so I was probably about 6 when Batman and Robin came out, but I remember always seeing it on television. I remember the marketing campaign for this damn movie was bananas.
It was.
It
actually was bananas.
Hell out of this movie.
And if they actually had a villain whose theme was bananas, it would have fit right in with the nonsense that is this movie. All the nonsense.
Kurt, it's amazing that you saw this when you were 6, because that's the perfect age for this movie.
I don't even know. That's one of the things I wrote down. I was like, who was this marketed towards? Because it was like all over the place. It was like there's like stuff for kids and adults and all this. Like you just pick a demographic, 18 to 34-year-olds that they love Batman too.
It is all over the place.
Yeah.
And I chugged my beer so hard it like started coming up, so I need to grab a paper towel. Yeah, because that's what this movie did to me. But what I will say about this movie is I don't know who this movie was made for, because it wasn't made for fans of Batman.
No,
it wasn't made for fans of the first 2 movies of this series.
This was a love letter to the original Adam West series. But it's like kind of like the passive-aggressive love letter. It's like, yeah, I know you still like me. Come on, I know you do. So it's it's the love letter you don't really want to get because it's from a bad place.
But they try to use like the bat puns still. Like I remember like some of the bat puns. Like it doesn't work well in Batman and Robin like it did in the TV series. And also like the color palettes of the movie were. Like in the 60s when Batman was on television, it was, color television at that point was a novelty because that was right when color television came into existence. Because, see Gidget in color, and that was the novelty. It's like it needed to be vibrant because that was how, that's how you got people to buy color television sets. It was like, look at all this beautiful color that you can see if you don't have a black and white. This is it's like why does everything have to be so vibrant? Sometimes you can just subdue a city. I mean, it didn't have to be like the Burton Gotham, where it's like gothic and moody and it's always raining. It's like Blade Runner. You didn't need that, but you could have just toned it down a little bit with the color spectrum and like the ridiculous building designs, like all the statues, like the Gotham Observatory. The statue in the Gotham Observatory, like it's like
I texted Mike this.
Like, how much?
I legitimately want to slap the Gotham City planner because I mean they're like these like statue of Colossus of Rhodes style statues that are literally just in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. It makes
No.
traversing Gotham seem like impossible to do.
Yeah, it's like they took everything from the Tim Burton Batman movie, doubled it, and then covered it all with like a really Sharpie highlighter.
Oof. Or Dayglow paint, if you will.
I mean,
the Dayglow. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's, you know what, we should probably start by, and by the way, I saw this movie opening day. In fact, I went to go see it right before my shift at Suncoast.
Oh, so another Suncoast story. I think this is the second time in a row we've gotten a Suncoast story.
Drink. So yeah, it's a it was one of those things where I walked out of the movie theater. I didn't know quite how to process it. I was just you can't compare Batman and Robin to Batman or Batman Returns. You just simply cannot.
Mm-mm.
It only should be compared to Forever. And that's really where I was like, did I like this better than Forever? And I didn't have a high regard for Forever, but
yeah, ironically, if you're a fan of Batman, you'll hate this movie, but I can't really see anybody but people that like Batman going to see this movie.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly. This isn't
it doesn't it's like it's like trying to commit suicide almost.
The weird thing about this is too, because I complained about when The Batman was released last year, that it would be really nice if my son could enjoy a Batman movie. He's 10 years old, you know? Mm-hmm. And, you know, he loved Batman Returns. He hasn't watched the original Batman yet, but I think that's because I poisoned his mind against all DC for some odd reason. But I feel like he sat and he watched about 5 minutes of and Robin with me, and he's just like, what is going on? I'm like, buddy, I really cannot explain this. And it's like, there's got to be that happy middle where kids can enjoy Batman in a live action setting without it being like, I mean, I've said a lot about the Batman, a lot of it being, I've seen this movie before and I've seen it done better. And I don't know. I really wish that there was some kind of more not even child, but like boy accessible version of Batman. And this certainly is not it.
I think the closest we get was the Batman 66, the Adam West movie. I think that's the closest you get to family-friendly Batman.
Yeah.
Or if you want to punish your child, those 1940s Batman serials that Riff Trax did, which I love those very much.
Yep.
Because of those. But yeah, you don't get. I think, and Joel Schumacher did try to do the family-friendly stuff with like Batman Forever and with Batman and Robin, because the studio didn't want, because it's like Batman Returns is a dark movie. I love Batman Returns, but it is dark.
It's dark,
and it's like
and
we don't want this.
Yeah, well, because of it, and I found this out. I actually watched a Joe Blow on Batman Forever, which just got released today because they listen to us. And they said that it wasn't so much Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers wanted Tim Burton to come back for Forever. McDonald's said, we will not put out another Batman Happy Meal unless Tim Burton is removed as director. And seeing where the dollar signs were there, they brought in Joel Schumacher, who was woefully prepared to do this. There is nothing in his filmography that said he can carry a Batman movie.
Yeah, it's like watch Falling Down, or St. Elmo's Fire, or
St. Elmo's Fire, Flatliners,
DC Cab. He directed DC Cab. I just watched that the other night.
Jesus Christ!
I would say the only movie that might give an inkling would be Lost Boys.
Maybe, but even the Lost Boys isn't really.
Certainly not family friendly.
It's not really an action film the way that a Batman movie needs to be.
Yeah.
Right.
and that comes in with a lot of the framing of shots. People just stand there waiting for things to happen. If you're a villain, you're kind of standing there waiting to be punched. People line up in a straight line, just pew, 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 pew. But what? Yeah,
it's just like the Bat costumes are so ridiculously nonsensical.
We're going to get to that in a second. I actually have a question for you guys first before we even get to all that does not work about this movie. Was there anything that you found in this movie that is a bright spot? Because today when I finally graded this on Letterboxd, I decided to give it 1 full star as opposed to a half star. And my reasoning was George Clooney tried his damnedest to make this work. But he is saddled with a terrible script, bad direction, lousy cinematography, and a bunch of people who are either there for the Humvee in terms of like Arnold, and everybody else who is just not good in this. And there's some solid actors in this movie, but no one is good in this. I love Uma Thurman. She is wretched in this. But Clooney, I feel like I will first of all, I admire he didn't do the growl. You know, he just kind of kept it, okay, fine, I'm Batman. And then there are aspects of the soundtrack I like, and by soundtrack, I mean the written for or inspired by the motion picture Batman and Robin, not the Elliot Goldenthal score, which is virtually a straight up rip of Forever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For me, there was one scene between Alfred and Bruce.
Yes.
That I'm like, okay, that shows that there's someone in some version of the script. There was someone that actually knows a little bit about Batman history that they put in a couple lines that managed to make it through to the final movie. Yeah, it's like when like Bruce is Alfred's talking to him about something about like family, I think.
Yeah, it was when Alfred's sick in bed.
Yes.
And Bruce comes to talk to him. And it's that I love you old man scene. And that is two very good actors having a moment that isn't interrupted by sculpted ass and crotch shots and nipples and ice puns and Uma Thurman's terrible Mae West impression that just happens out of nowhere.
And Bane becoming Hulk smash.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm. All right. I got stories about my viewing experience with that Bane, but I'll save that for later.
Yeah.
I have a couple bright spots of this movie. One is I love Michael Gough as Alfred, and I love the scenes he has with Clooney. George Clooney in this movie is a good Bruce Wayne, but he's not a good Batman. That's the thing, is that he is a very good, because he's a good dramatic actor, and I think he did convey a lot of the like the scene where he's like, was it Elle Macpherson? He's talking to her at the dinner table, and like, I want to get married and all that stuff. But I have this. He's like, I have this other side of me that you don't want to be exposed to. That kind of stuff, which would make sense for Batman. It's like he can't form attachments like that to other people, because it's like you could get hurt, because I am fighting some of the worst people in Gotham City right now, and they will find ways to kill you and not skip a beat.
The last thing the other one, ice pun.
Yeah, the other one I love is Arnold. I love Arnold in this movie because he's just having fun. He's literally he's hamming it up, and I don't know why, I just love it so much. Yeah, he's getting paid all this money to just say puns. It's like, that's gotta be the best paycheck that man had ever had, because it's like, okay, I get to wear this stupid costume and say puns.
Didn't he get paid in military gear though? I think he got paid in military armament.
Well, I believe he also had like top billing in this movie.
He does. In this quadrilogy, Batman only has top billing in half of it. The actor who plays Batman only gets that top billing twice. So, I mean, Kurt, to your point, yeah, Arnold looks like he's having a great time, and I'm very happy for him. But at the same time, it's like I can be happy for him and not enjoy one iota of his performance.
That's that's a very valid point. I'm loving it though.
They left the mic on him like far too long because there's like, you know, get the diamond, kill the heroes, yes, kill them, do these things. I'm still talking. Why is the mic still on?
Seriously, if you're one of his henchmen, what is the upside? Any diamonds you steal go into his suit, and when you're on your downtime, you're stuck in a freezing factory, forced to watch probably half of one of the mediocre Rankin and Bass movies.
Yeah, seriously, I feel like you only watch the coal miser scene, and that's it. There's no other part of that. It's like someone probably takes that video cassette out, and it's like the tape is that thin. It's like, oh, God damn it!
And when you're on duty, you either have to try your best to ice skate. What the heck are you doing?
Aww.
Yeah. You have to do your best to ice skate, or you get beaten up by Batman. So what is the upside?
It's hard to say. At least, and I'll say this, at least Ivy didn't get henchmen. She got henchman, Bane, who throughout this movie, so I'm watching, so my son watched about 5-10 minutes of the movie. My daughter sat and watched the rest of it with me. And she is just squirming how bad this movie is. And so I'm trying to like make light of things. And I bring up, let's not forget the Batman and Robin of
built-in ice. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what I want. Built-in ice skates. I want to get my Pumas to have built-in ice skates. So I click the heels ice skates come out during the winter.
I have questions about that, but I need to finish this story first. So we're watching this movie, and it's just like, she says something in that Mae West accent that comes out of nowhere, and Bane just repeats it like, Bane, monkey war. So I started like doing the Tom Hardy for the entire thing. Yes, it's monkey work. Why do you need to kiss him? Why is it so cold in here? I've told you before, you can't use the corporate credit card for assassinations. You must use cash.
The streets will run with Razzle Zazzy.
But God. All right. So to Malik's point here about the bat skates, that scene, which did it really work so well in Batman Forever? They needed to do a shot-for-shot remake of it, where they do the gauntlet, turn, ass, turn, dick, turn, tool. Did that work so well that first time? We need to see it twice for longer because now we're going to see Robin grab his shit. And then it's like every time they pull out a gadget. So my daughter and I are watching this, and every time they pull out a gadget, I'm like, well, it's a good thing you grabbed that one.
Yeah.
They grabbed stuff that they needed for this caper before they even knew that Mr. Freeze was the villain.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so bad and embarrassed for Pat Hingle. It's like,
poor Pat.
He certainly deserved better. He shows up, Batman, there's a new villain. His name is Mr. Freeze. Thank you, Exposition.
Yeah.
Every character in this movie is Basil Exposition. John Glover, the criminally underutilized John Glover, is nothing more
I love
than
his
Basil
performance
Exposition.
in this movie too.
What's that?
I love him hamming it up in this movie. It's like he's basically like, taking the Donald Clamp that he was in Gremlins 2 and just ramping it up to 11. And the hamminess and just like the weird over the topness. It's like I love that shit.
What's crazy though is that he's been a better DC villain than other things. He's Luthor's father in Smallville. He's
he was great in that role too.
Yeah, no, he's Dr. Savannah's father in Shazam.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, it's like he hasn't done a single Marvel movie, but he's done a shitload of DC.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the first thing I texted Andy about when I was watching it yesterday was like, John Glover deserves so much better than this because I know he is a really good actor.
Right. I feel like they
I
utilized him slightly better than they utilized Rene Auberjonois. I can't pronounce his name in Batman Forever. Guy gets one of the top billings in the movie, and he's in it for literally 2 seconds at the end of the movie.
I don't even remember where he is.
He was Dr. Burton at Arkham Asylum, where all the criminals go, and apparently Mr. Freeze can keep his suit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets basically his suit, and he gets carte blanche to do whatever the hell he wants with that research for that disease for his wife. It's like he just tried to murder almost all Gotham by turning it into a giant icicle. But yeah, because he saved Alfred's life, you get to do whatever the hell you want in Arkham Asylum.
We can't have you wandering around. I mean, you have already killed Jesse Ventura, your co-star from Predator.
It's a conspiracy, people.
It's a conspiracy.
What's crazy too about that Arkham breakout scene too is, first of all, for once, somebody breaks through a wall on ground level.
Mm-hmm.
Because every car that busts through a wall at the museum, at any of that, is always like it's the 13th floor. Like, no. Why do physics make no sense in Gotham? Robin busts through a wall and the Robin symbol is behind him.
Or the scene at the beginning when they're fighting Mr. Freeze for the first time, he like pole vaults and it's like just
he pole vaults, but he managed to find a landing pivot point on the bottom of an icy incline.
Yeah.
Physics doesn't work that way.
No
physics.
No. Well, there's that thing too where they knock Freeze's gun up on top of the centerpiece of the Dinosaurs and Diamonds exhibit at the Gotham Museum.
And it stopped, pivots right on the edge and just stays there.
Yeah.
But it stops and then it moves. It moves to a point where it can be knocked down. It's just like this. I don't get that. I don't get why does every place have a skylight for also? Is that just a thing that Gotham did? Is every major building have a skylight?
It's part of a green initiative for Gotham City.
I didn't realize that very heavy metal doors could be used as aerial surfboards that can defy gravity. I didn't realize that happens. News to me.
How far were they falling, by the way? Because I feel like that rocket didn't get that high up for them to be constantly gliding through things in a blue screen nightmare. So I can't even enjoy it. No, and you're absolutely right, man. It's not a fun bad watch. It very much is driving me to almost kill this beer right now because it's not good. It's just not good. I mean, so here's the thing that just kind of ripped my ass as well about this movie is now we're going to be getting that revisionist history. It was like, was Batman and Robin really that bad?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, it was terrible. Stop making bad things good just because, something
maybe
Marvel
Phantom Menace
bad.
was good.
Right there on Wikipedia, it says it's considered one of the worst movies of all time.
That's what I remember as a kid noticing. That was like when I saw it, would see the previews for it on television. I'm like, even as 6 years old, I'm like, this movie's not gonna be good. It's like when a 6-year-old who should be your target demographics, I could see right through your movie. It's like, this movie's not gonna be good. And that's the same year I saw Star Wars for the first time. It's like, I've seen one of the best movies ever made. I'm like, I can see right through your shit, and I know your movie's gonna suck, and I'm not going to see it. And I didn't see it, I don't know, probably till I was about 10 or 11.
Wow.
I didn't see it until later because it just didn't appeal to me. I loved we had Batman and Batman Returns on VHS as kids. My brothers and I did. We didn't. Yes, it was easy. But we didn't. I think we used to rent Batman Forever from the video store. Or we'd watch it on television. That was about the only time I ever watched really Batman Forever. But I watched the hell out of Batman and Batman Returns, so I was exposed to the good Batman shit as a kid.
Yeah,
not so
that's
much
the thing.
this.
So when they released the quadrilogy, the Batman saga on DVD, and I honestly think, Mike, this is our first interaction together.
Yeah, I still remember and love your story about this.
Yeah, so when they released it, there was this whole thing that there's going to be commentary. I didn't see till I was 12, and no one watched till no, it's definitely a watch of shame. So I read in Entertainment Weekly back when I used to have magazine subscriptions that they were going to release this 4-pack DVD, and they're going to have behind the scenes. Every disc was a double disc, and every disc was going to have like a documentary about the movie itself, which the Batman and the Batman Return ones are excellent. But they also said too that you were going to get Joel Schumacher's mea culpa about not so much Forever, but about and Robin, and how it was, it was dictated that it was a marketing machine first and a movie second. So called up Circuit City, RIP. Mike answered the phone. I asked Mike if he could find it. He's like, yes, it's right here. I gave him my name. I came down. I bought it. This is before we worked together in the same store. This is before we really met and formed this Geek Salad bond that we have now. Bought it, brought it home. The first disc I put in was Batman and Robin. I'm like, okay, you're ready to do some kissing. Literally, it's kind of like excuses start being created. So do you remember, I'm assuming we've all seen The Warriors, right?
Oh, hell yeah. I love that movie.
David Michael Patrick, or whatever his name is, at the end of that movie, when the gangs are going to like, no, it was the Warriors. No. That's how I felt like Schumacher was handling the whole thing. It wasn't the mea culpa that I was expecting to hear, like the whipping sound on his back. What I heard was, it was the toy makers. The toy makers made me do it. Mattel and Hasbro, they made me do it. That's why Alicia Silverstone only shows up with that bat cowl for 3 seconds of the movie. They wanted one like that. Ah! And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, the toy makers wanted the quick close-ups of both George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell's latex-clad asses.
Nethers. They're nethers. Their entire lower nether area.
That's how you get accurate batch for action figures.
This is before the days of 3D scanning. When I watched Schumacher interviews talking about the movie, he looked like he did a crappy end result shows. It's obvious he wasn't a fan of Batman at all. He had ideas that he went into because he wanted to make it light and fluffy, like a meringue, if you will.
Ooh,
but
tasty.
Yes, but I feel like he was not suited for this. He's a good, and that's the thing too. I feel like these movies label him as a bad director. He's not a bad director. He's actually a pretty good director, but he's a good director in a certain style of movie, and big bombastic comic book movie is not it.
Certain independent
filmmakers. I think he's a great comic book movie.
Yeah, he's a good character director, like in Falling Down. He's really good at doing character stuff, and he did. I mean, St. Elmo's Fire got shot on a lot by moviegoers and by critics when it came out, but it's a decent movie. That's a pretty decent character based movie. He does good character based stuff. He's not a superhero director,
right?
And not everyone took that. Yeah,
I feel like if I was going to rank his movies, Flatliners and The Lost Boys are probably his best movies. Oh, he didn't fit him. It's like someone forced him to. Yeah, I understand. Try that mold. Yeah, that's understandable. Like, he had a big hit with the Client. He was doing the Grisham stuff, so WB owned the Grisham stuff. So I can totally understand that.
The Client's actually a pretty good movie.
Client's not bad. Time to Kill is okay, and it unleashed Matthew McConaughey on us. So
come on, Dazed and Confused did that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Dazed did that. Come on,
Dazed took a long time for that to do that though. We had his big break wasn't Dazed. It was Time to Kill. But I feel like watching that and just having that built-in excuse that the toy makers made me do it. But then when you go back and you watch the movie, It makes a lot of sense. There's no, I mean, I understand, you want the bat ice suit, because maybe it's got that more thermal insulation or whatever, but
yeah,
maybe.
I know all you were hoping for from that commentary was just the Kevin Costner of the Postman.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, was Field of Dreams good though? Ah, that was a great movie. Where are you? Oh, I'm behind the TV.
Yeah, it's tough too. Now let's get to the issue we have about this. That this movie is does a terrible job with their female characters, considering that one of them is a lead. First of all, Uma Thurman is one of the leads of this movie, and she is just dreadful in this. Goes nuts. Yeah, he does.
Sorry.
Texas. No, not Next Gen. No.
Hey, that also gave us Renee Zellweger.
No, they do not claim it. I do not recognize that movie's existence at all. I have to watch Texas Chainsaw later to cleanse that from my soul.
Thurman was just kind of there for the paycheck. It's very obvious she's there for the paycheck. Her character is just the thing is that now I'm spoiled because I love what Lake Bell has done with Harley Quinn, with Poison Ivy on a Harley Quinn animated.
Yeah,
she's so good and she's so down to earth.
Yeah,
because
pun intended, right?
Kind of. I thought about that as the words were leaving my mouth, but I feel like her whole deal is, wait, why am I the bad guy? He's a billionaire industrialist. I'm trying to save the planet. They go the extreme route. They go that meme with her in this movie. The liberal tears meme.
I made a plant and snake hybrid. I'm cool.
Yeah. It's funny too when she shows that thing. She's got that Audrey 2 under glass, and it just sits there. It's almost like she forgot to turn the switch, so it would actually be like, oh, it's Billy Big Mouth Bass. You push the button and it's going to sing "Keep Me Hanging On" or something. But I was messaging Mike about this, that Elle Macpherson and Vivica, a fox, have nothing to do in this movie. Vivica, a fox shows up in one scene.
Oh,
she's hot for that one scene, and then she pieces out.
Was that the woman that tried to mac it with Mr. Freeze
at the very beginning? So he's doing the whole cold miser thing because get it? And she's just and she shows up, makes a couple of really bad ice puns, and then she just she goes to the same place that Paul Dano's Riddler went for half of the Batman. She never returns after that. And Elle Macpherson just showed there's no agency. At least Chase Meridian got to be held hostage. She was useless too, but
yeah, I don't know. I had no idea why Vivica A. Fox was even in there at all. Because actually, the thing that kind of insulted me most about Mr. Freeze's character was the fact that when they were giving his backstory in that very point-on newscast, the two-time gold Olympian and turned Freeze physicist, really.
When did he have time to become, a gene physicist and be a triathlete?
Yeah, I'm
as far as I'm aware, you spend most of your time training. I mean, I'm no athlete.
You don't have a whole lot of free time.
No. Yeah, that's. You know what the amazing thing is too? There's always a camera. Not only is there always a camera to deliver exposition, but there are multiple cameras there, so they can give you the cuts. Kind of like in Batman Forever, when Harvey is giving testimony, and then they cut to a boss throwing the acid, and then they cut to Batman jumping over. it's the same thing. It's like there's like all these different like cameras, and only one of them looks like security footage, and that's when he falls into the freezing tank.
Yeah. I wish the Alex Jones trial looked like that, because I would have enjoyed the hell out of that a whole hell of a lot more than what it actually looked like. If it looked like that instead of what it actually looked like. But yeah,
hey, listen, I'm just here to cure McGregor's disease. The deep state wants you to be infected by this. You know, they get a shot for it, but it's the poison shot, and you know it's known to be killing millions.
That
hurt.
I got my notes. My notes. I talked about the cartoon sound effects throughout the movie. The bonking of the heads. The one henchman slips on ice, and it's like watching Looney Tunes.
Barbera sounds, and they did that forever though. Do you remember when Riddler is like doing he's destroying the Batcave? All they use were Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah. Oh, and the sparks. We cannot forget about this. All the unnecessary sparks, like during the motorcycle race. Just everything has sparks. Crash through a window, sparks. You melt ice, sparks. The band Sparks had less sparks than this movie.
So here's another thing. I was asking Mike about this. During that motorcycle thing, they show all the gangs of Gotham. Why does every gang need a theme? This isn't the Warriors. It's like,
I was going to say someone gave him a copy of the Warriors.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange. And you've got the composers. I mean, you got all the dudes in the powdered wigs and the cane and the walking sticks. And I'm like, who fears them? I think I could single-handedly whoop all their asses.
Yeah.
I would gladly spend a night in jail just
Coolio.
kicking their asses.
And we get Coolio, too.
Oh, God, Coolio.
R.I.P.
Like when En Vogue made that appearance in Forever.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
He's not Batman, he's Batboy.
Oh, shoot, you're right. I forgot that.
Yeah, it's quite all right. I just found out, like, yesterday that Cassandra Peterson was the biker mama in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh.
I say, you let me have him. That's her.
Not sure.
I've watched that movie 100 times and never realized that was Cassandra Peterson.
Yeah.
So
I also find it very amusing the fact that Poison Ivy just happens to let slip that I killed I tried to pull the plug, and you just happened to film me at the exact same time I say it.
Everybody is filming. It's a police state in Gotham. I swear to God, they have all the body cams on. And that brings it, honestly though, that brings us to Batgirl. Mm-hmm. First of all, I understand, you want to capitalize, you want to strike while that iron is hot. Alicia Silverstone was excellent in Clueless. She really was. I can't imagine anybody else playing that. That's where it ends. Mm-hmm. Keep in mind, she made her bones as the Aerosmith girl, where she didn't have to speak. So, showing up in this, I mean, there was an audible boo from the audience when she revealed that she was Alfred's niece.
Yeah.
Alfred's niece from the Valley.
Had that look on her face like she could vaguely smell a fart somewhere. Like the entire movie.
And I do love the fact that her sickly uncle had a skin-tight bodysuit in her exact measurements.
I had to remind Scarlett of that. I'm like, okay, I just want to remind you that her elderly uncle designed this outfit, complete with stiletto heels, high ass, and a bustier. And she's like, well, at least they didn't put nipples on there. And I'm like, that's my girl.
Double standard.
Not only that, but he made 2 copies of that because he had to make the thermal version of that same suit as well. But here's a cowl in case your ears get cold, darling. The funniest part about that also is that, Alfred's talking about his family, and he's talking about his brother Wilfred, who is also a butler, because that's apparently their family's lot in life. They lost a bet somewhere. And then they talk about her mother, Margaret, Peg. And there's a picture of Peg from 1930.
Love Peg.
But yes, her mother.
Yeah.
This woman didn't have was not in her childbearing years in the 1970s. Oh, it was rough, and my daughter was like, forgive me for saying this, but I've heard a lot of like female heroines called Mary Sue's, and she just points at the screen and goes, Mary Sue, and I'm like, oh shit, you've got a point, because she does. She does.
Normally, I don't like that. I don't like
that term. I hate that term.
But they were like, we've got to make it so it's not creepy, and we have to like do female empowerment. So let's make her an expert in everything.
Literally, no training. It's like, at least with Robin, they introduced that he was an acrobat.
Yeah.
No, instead she's an expert fighter after 2 weeks or so of training.
Yeah.
We knew she could ride a motorcycle and she knew computers, but she also that kip up. Yeah. That everybody does in that. They're all HBK, the Heartbreak Kid, just all kip it up when they get knocked down. It's like, you know how long it takes to learn how to do that?
Yeah. Oh, God.
It's bad. Now, we haven't touched on one person in this movie yet, and his name is half the title. We haven't discussed Anne Robin yet.
One of the first things I texted Andy when watching this is Robin's first line is, I want the car. I want a car. Chicks dig the car.
They gave you a bus pass. Wasn't that enough?
That's why Batman Superman works alone. That is his crippling Asperger's syndrome.
Asperger's syndrome.
Sorry. When you hear Robin say that, you're like, oh, he's just a whiny bitch of a teen. Then you realize that Chris O'Donnell was 27 when he said that. Like, oh, he should be kept within 5 miles of any school.
Yeah, it's tough to. And I mentioned to you, Mike, while I was watching it, Robin doesn't do anything in this movie. He gets in trouble. He has to get his ass pulled out of the. Even when he has that one smart moment of wearing wax lips. I'll explain my issues with that in a second. But he at least thinks ahead, puts the wax lips on. He then gets kicked into a pond where Audrey 8 can strangle him and drown him. No, the other thing too is it Ivy's lips that are poisoned, or does she actually exude poison through her mouth, which is what I would assume. Is that, I know it wasn't really broached, but
when she kills John Glover's character, you can see chlorophyll or whatever around his mouth
and his tongue.
So maybe, his tongue. So I don't. The wax lips wouldn't have worked unless she's literally sticking her whole mouth into his mouth and
unless it's just
tongue.
A chase. I like girls kiss. Just...
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, that wax lip stuff.
Both my kids were just like, "Why? What is going on with this movie?" And I waited till my son left the room because he's a little more impressionable. And I looked at my daughter and I went, "Don't ever repeat this to any of your friends." She goes to a very progressive high school. It's like, "Don't ever repeat this to any of your friends." But this movie is as gay as an Easter parade. This is just there's a lot of. It's almost and the funny thing is too is that the women have no agency in this movie at all. Even Barbara doesn't really have any agency in this movie. This is all about the male form, and to quote Seinfeld, not that there's anything wrong with that, but it does feel like this is essentially it's a fever dream of epic proportions in that sense, and. I don't know. I feel like it doesn't fit the Batman motif, especially because we're so used to. We were introduced to Batman. We reintroduced Batman in 1989 as being a dark character, and then to come back and be like J-Lo. How much can we make this look like a rave? Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
Go ahead. I just lost my train of thought.
That's okay.
Yeah, this movie is very homoerotic.
That's a great.
Those. I feel like that's a better the Conan the Barbarian, the Conan Barbarian knockoff type movie, the Italian movies, and like those Gladiator movies, like the Steve Reeves stuff, like Hercules stuff from MST3K, were less homoerotic than I think this.
Yeah,
and those were literally shirtless dudes, jacked to the jacked like hell, running around the Italian countryside.
Yeah,
right. And even the costumes, the inspiration for the costumes was based on Greek statues. That's why.
Yeah, you can tell because they're ripped. Yeah, they're ripped and they have nipples.
Yeah, when it opens on just nothing but close-ups of these two guys dressed in these skin-tight latex outfits, there is something very homoerotic about it.
It's it's done from the male gaze, but
it's definitely not for the target audience of this movie. For this movie, I mean, I'm sure there. Don't get me wrong, there are gay comic book fans out there. Hey, right on.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority, I don't know what percentage of comic book fans are gay versus straight, but most of those people probably aren't interested in that stuff. It's let it. You just gotta let it go sometimes, Schumacher.
Right. Well, it was also 1997 as well. I mean,
one of the most progressive times for gay people.
How many rights did you have? How many fingers do I have? It's just it's difficult. It really is. It's difficult because the funny thing is too is that I could understand if this movie is one of these movies that gets rediscovered as being a huge kind of ironic watch in the same way that Ursula Queen of the Desert is or something like that, but it isn't. And a lot of that just rests on the fact it's a bad movie. There's no camp in this movie because usually with camp there's an aspect of good intentions here. This movie,
see John /Waters.
But there are no good intentions in this movie, and they said it themselves when they essentially sold their souls to McDonald's and Mattel.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue with this movie is that it could have. I mean, it would have been amazing, especially for the LGBTQ community to be you know what? It's not a great movie, but it's a lot of fun to watch. We have a good time watching it, and I haven't heard any of my gay friends say that at all. And it's just you ask them about it, it's what? No. I mean, let's be honest. Also, Eternals is a better movie of representation than this is.
If you want a better representation of a genre that's has a lot of homoerotic themes in it, Nightmare on Elm Street 2, first male scream queen, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is too is that I'm trying to think of other big budget super homoerotic movies that were totally unintentionally homoerotic. 300 is a good example of that. And that movie is goofy as fuck.
Watch the riff tracks.
I should. I did watch the riff tracks for this. Obviously, you and I both quoted I gave you a bus pass. And I'm fairly certain I also stole the Diamonds and a Dinosaur exhibit from that too.
I just remembered something I wanted to say earlier is Robin's whole thing throughout the entire movie is I want this to be a partnership. I don't want to be just doing what you tell me. And then finally at the end, Bruce is no, if you want this to be a partnership, this is a family. We've got to respect each other. I want you to do what I'm telling you right now. That's exactly what. But that makes a lot of sense. No, that's exactly what you've been fighting against the entire freaking movie.
Right. Yeah. Right. And if you're fighting, why did you come home? The mistakes here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be Robin anymore. Hi, I'm still here. Hi.
Yeah, exactly. The Robin signal, really?
It was basically like the superhero version of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. It was just a domestic relationship disintegrating.
Quiet,
all the charm.
This was all about family.
This outcast in Furious by 3 years.
Yeah. Think about it. Ridiculous cars, stunts that defy gravity and physics, all about family. And ridiculous villains. This is a Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah,
it is. And this is back in the early Fast and Furious days when it was just like, hey, we're lifting
steal
DVD
televisions.
players.
Yeah, DVD players not going into space.
I was just saying, we didn't launch a car to space yet. John Cena hasn't made it on the scene yet. We couldn't see him.
So.
Yeah. All right, and let's talk about it because we've gone almost an hour on this, and no one of you has brought up the Bat card.
No,
good for forever.
Why would
I try to block it? It's like a traumatic event. Like when you're a child, just like block it. I refuse to recognize that card's existence because that is literally it cha-chings when that's like Cat in the Hat levels of joke.
I mean,
it's like come on.
The whole scene was all about. Yeah, I'm going to spend $5 million. I'm going to spend $6 million. I'm going to spend $1 million infinity.
$1 million infinity plus one.
So,
plus that whole scene is about like rich white guys paying money for scantily clad women.
Hey, right now this
guy's really using that cigar.
I never realized that
most of those guys right now
was
by
in
Twitter.
Gotham.
Most of those guys would be buying Twitter now, so let's
I'll pay $500,000 for that young lady. Woohoo!
Oh, that's the thing too. That guy with the cigar, he lets the cigar do all the acting. All right.
Sometimes the cigar is a cigar, and sometimes the cigar is a big brown dick.
I'd rather watch J.K. Simmons. He knew how to use a cigar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That guy was like, "Oh man, they're doing Spider-Man. I am so in as Jameson." And then J.K. Simmons rolls up. He's like, "He's bald. How can he do?" Oh, yeah. Wigs.
He can act.
Damn it. Well, the funny thing is too is like, I mean, we've all had experience signing up for credit cards, right?
I have not, but
Okay, well, how does Batman sign up for a credit card? That's like that Spider-Man thing where Spider-Man had to cash a check that was made out to Spider-Man.
Are you telling me that not one person in the bank like, why is this Batman credit card linked to Bruce Wayne's bank account?
Well, this is before the days of auto pay too. We'd have to write a check every month to from his Bat checkbook.
Batman. Huh? Wait.
Why do the bees look exactly the same? Huh. If I weren't so lazy, I might do some research into this.
Who can afford to buy a new Batmobile every week?
All right.
Oh, that Batmobile. We have to talk about the Batmobile.
I was just going to say
how ridiculous it is.
Do we really?
Are we ranking
yes,
this
because
as the
of how ridiculous
Batmobile in history?
Yeah, it's like open cockpit, and it's like the I don't know if it's like supposed to be like some kind of fusion reactor in the front, but it looks like the rip tracks it looks like a European style disco inside under the hood of the Batmobile, and like the hubcaps don't move when he's driving it. It's like, okay, that's like, this is ridiculous, and then the ridiculously long Batcave. Can you imagine how many people they had to keep silent when they were building that damn thing? Because there's no way in hell that's natural.
Oh yeah, that like a case that opens up and reveals the Robin cycle.
Oh yeah, folds
I'm
out.
fairly certain when that was manufactured, someone was in the manufacturing plant was like, "Wait one damn moment here."
So
we're sending this to Wayne Manor.
What's up with the Robin signal that we're sending this to Wayne Manor? What's going on here?
What's going on? So yeah, that's the other thing too, is that it takes so goddamn long for those cars to rise out of the thing. It's like you were answering the bat signal, right? There's an active crime going on right now. Why?
Oh God.
Yeah, it's worse than the Forever car. I mean, for my money, the '89 Returns car will always be my favorite Batmobile, even more than I like the Tumbler. I didn't care at all for the Batman car or whatever the hell Batfleck was using, but
because they used like a version of the Batman 89 Batman car in Batman the Animated Series, right? It was basically the same car.
Virtually, yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely my favorite.
Just a long sedan. Yeah, it's just.
Hey, wait, what about that 1939 Chevrolet that they used in the series, huh?
Chevy Impala.
Oh god, with the I think it was like red with the vinyl top. I think it was a convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, why does Bruce Wayne and Batman have the exact same car and license plate?
Yeah. Oh, you can cry all over it all you want, but don't let rain hit it. It'll take the finish right off. Oh, Gil, you said too much.
Finish the sale.
Oh man.
I mean, god.
Yeah.
What else can we say about this abomination of God and man?
I don't know. I mean, we're coming up on an hour here. I think we've said all we can say. It's low hanging fruit. So it's like
I do have a question for Kurt.
What?
Batman and Robin or Caddyshack 2?
Oh, Caddyshack 2. Mostly because Chevy Chase is giving us you're trying to save the damn thing, and I don't think a lot of people are saving Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I mean Caddyshack 2 is supposed to be a comedy, but it fails at it. Batman and Robin is supposed to be a comic book movie, but it's trying to be a comedy and failing at it. So
it fails at both. It fails at both, yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to be two different things and failing at both, while Caddyshack just failed at one thing. So.
Yeah. I will give this movie credit though for pulling back on the Gossip Gertie stuff.
I know a little bit of her went a very long way, and they used just a little bit too much for me.
She was unbearable in Forever.
Oh gosh.
This one too.
But it's like she's doing all these announcements and stuff, and I keep shouting to the screen, "You're not a real journalist."
Perez Hilton's more of a journalist than you are.
Seriously. I mean, it was like, okay, well, Bob Kane is almost dead. Let's get his wife in here.
Oh, is that who that was?
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either. Oh.
But yeah, no, it's just a rough.
I'd rather have had Bill Finger's wife in there.
Oh, poor Bill.
Poor Bill, exactly.
Well, in his defense, though, at least he didn't have to have his name associated with this movie.
It's true.
Nope.
That's true. I mean, the one thing about this movie too is though it's always credited as killing the superhero genre, like superhero cinema genre. Blade came out a year after this. All right, and I know that and I will die on the hill that Blade was not nearly as successful as people made it out to be.
No. But most people that saw Blade did not realize it was a comic book movie.
True.
Yeah.
Like I know when I first saw it, I had no clue.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't know it either.
Spawn came out the year after as well.
That Spawn came out in 97.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. It did.
Oh, God, I hate that movie too.
I hate that movie. Hey, look at my cape. Where? Oh yeah, I forgot. We gotta put that in post. But it was only 3 years, and then we had X-Men, the first X-Men, which would lead us to X2, which was infinitely better. Yeah. But it's not like it really isn't like this movie killed the genre, but it definitely killed Batman for 8 years.
Yeah.
Which it was, and that was a good break, and I really wish we would keep we need a break from Batman.
Hey, but DC's had several bad movies, so break out the Batman.
When all else fails, add Batman.
Break out Batgirl because we want to see that Batwoman because we want to see that movie. You hearing me, Zaslav?
Batman is just
he watches the stream. He knows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Batman's just that emaciated cow they keep going right back to whenever they need another jug of milk, even though it's long past giving up to the ghost.
So that udder's been dry.
Yeah. Whenever you say the name David Zaslav, he actually just
it's like gopher out of a hole.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Batman and Robin. We're genuinely curious. What were your thoughts on this movie, good or bad? Leave a polite comment below. Thank you, everybody who joined us for tonight's episode. Kurt, thank you.
Thanks for having me on for the second time this year.
Yeah, seriously. This is the first sequel all year. because we gave the first shot at Jurassic World.
Yeah,
the good.
I'd rather watch that again.
So Kurt, where can our good viewers find you?
You can find me on Twitter. I am not calling it X. It is Twitter at Swayze of Arabia. Yeah, it's Pearl Jam. I am on Hive Social still, even though I don't post on there anymore. I'm still technically active. I am also on Blue Sky, and I have a invite code coming up probably next week. If anybody who watches the stream follows me on Twitter wants a Blue Sky code next week when I post about it, I'll DM you and I'll let you have it. What else am I on? I'm on Instagram at Swayze_of_Arabia. And I am on Letterboxd, which is linked on my Twitter and on my Twitter, Instagram, and my Blue Sky. And I have to plug TYTD Dan's Ed Wood audiobook that just got released for pre-order because I did a hour-long discussion with him and Triv from Trivial Theater about Ed Wood, the Ed Wood Tim Burton semi-biopic, and cult movies in general, more or less. And that is available on Dan's Bandcamp. I think it's TYTD Reviews on Bandcamp. So check that out if you guys want to, because Dan's awesome, and it's going to be a really interesting. It was a fun discussion to have, and I'm sure that his discussions on everything from Plan 9 to Jailbait to Violent Years to Night of the Ghouls. I don't think he did any of the porn Ed Wood did. But yeah, this is gonna be fun. So yeah, check that out definitely. That's all my plugs.
Awesome. Thank you, Kurt. And you can first of all, if you enjoy what you saw here, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe because it helps us. Make sure you're subscribing as well. We do this every week, so you can get retro reviews no matter what. We try to theme our months as well. So this is our August month. Don't have a guest lined up for next week yet. We got to figure that out, but it'll be later in the week anyway because I'm going away for a few days. But I know we've definitely got Sean Duke coming up in a few weeks for Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. And Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. So iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify. We are there. You can also check out our Linktree account, linktree.com/geeksalad, to get all the links for all the places, including YouTube. We are launching a new episode of the podcast tomorrow, where we dramatize our thoughts for certain historical events, people, and things that really, really need movies and TV shows. That'll be coming up Friday morning at like 1 a.m. You might get it early because Podbean decided it doesn't like to pay attention to me. So we've got that going on. You can also follow us on the socials. We are Geek Salad Podcast on Facebook, and we are at Geek Salad Radio on, get a pen, we are on 10. We are on Blue Sky. We are on Threads. We are on Hive and Mastodon, all at Geek Salad Radio, even though I haven't looked at Hive or Mastodon in a dog's age.
I am on Mastodon too. I'm on Mastodon now too, and I followed you on I followed the Geek Salad on Mastodon.
We have followed each other everywhere, and to what? But I did get a lot of engagement on the first for the Twitter sit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all sat out Twitter on the first, so I got a lot of Blue Sky in there, so you can follow us there. Check out our videos. Check out our podcast. And Kurt, thanks a lot for joining us. I don't know what our movie is going to be next week. I'm sure it's going to be terrible. And until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. We'll talk to you later.
Bye-bye.